I'd like to thank y'all for being here. We did take a week off because March 3rd was my mom's birthday, so I wanted to spend the weekend with her, and I wanted to have no stress. So happy birthday to Mom. I did enjoy spending time with you.
Happy birthday, Mama.
Happy birthday, Thank you for that. So we are getting to episode 44, March Madness. So we are going to have a few topics dealing with sports this episode, but I'm quite sure Heero and Shake will make it just as entertaining as our regular topics are. So as we usually say, when Shake says something you agree with, please type exclamation V3. When Heero says something you agree with, please type exclamation V2. And since Heero had more votes last week than our other co-hosts, we're going to say, Heero, please address your loving fans.
Good evening, everybody. So glad to be back. And I just didn't have more votes than him last week. I've had more votes than him for a vast majority of the weeks. With that being said, I'd like to send a quick shout out to the legendary author, illustrator, mangaka Akira Toriyama, who passed away March 1st. Peace, he is the creator of Dragon Ball Z, GT, Chronos, illustrations, so on and so forth. If you have ever seen any weeb, dweeb, anime socialite charging in the corner, screaming at the top of their lungs and thought they were weird, I want you to know they were just as weird, but they just didn't really have a place to put it. And we'd like to thank Akira Toriyama for raising these fools, because they did end up growing up to be somewhat civilized, decent individuals. His contributions to the arts and everything moving forward as far as animations, design, paneling is truly inspirational. If you ever have the opportunity to pick up his graphical book on paneling and designing, even if you don't have a vested interest in art design or anything like that, to understand how motion fluidity is portrayed in images is something that would help you greatly in your life. Rest in peace.
Hey. Well, Rip, I'm going to start this off by again saying, rest in peace, Toriyama. But, and that's a big ass BBL like Kate Middleton, but Dragon Ball Z is so damn overrated. And we all know it here. It is so drastically overrated.
Immediately,
it has terrible.
You guys
terrible
tell
power
Icon.
scaling.
Can you tell us how? Can you tell us how to do this?
It has terrible power scaling, right? Toriyama became way too much of a fan of his own work, and we all know that, right? He did not continue how he was supposed to write that. We all know it, right? Right? Like we all know.
Heero just set you up. Damn.
Oh my God. -3. This is ridiculous.
What?
Right? It's been 12 days. All right, we can.
You could. I'm just saying,
Shake,
Shake. You could have saved that for the end of the show. You would have had a better shot. But the ball's on you. The ball's on you.
Saying, right? All I'm saying is, right? He was way too much of a fan of his own work. Way too much of a fan of his own work, and he didn't let what could have been a good storyline breathe, right? And it's the reason why they're trying to fix it. They're trying to fix all the massive holes they have in Dragon Ball Z in Super. That's why Super doesn't make any sense either, right? Because there's too many massive holes because he was way too much of a fan of his own damn work. We all know it. It's just like somebody had to say it. He's been dead for 12 days, man. We can say it.
Damn, 12
we can say
days.
It.
That's what it takes.
12 days. With that being said, before Shake finds himself in an insurmountable hole, we're going to move to our first topic.
History is ridiculous.
Okay, so I watched Seinfeld, and there was this episode where one of his dates, he dropped their toothbrush in the toilet, and he didn't say anything. He just put it back. And I'm like, so because he did that, he wasn't able to be intimate with her because he, unless he's a germaphobe. Actually, in real life, he's a germaphobe. So with that being said, we're going to watch this video, and I want to know what you would do if this person was your wife. Okay. Shake, would you like to go first?
Sure. So, all right. First of all, I don't kink shame here. If you're into scat play, you keep that off camera behind closed doors, right? Secondly, that couldn't be my wife because like I don't like people who smell like animals, and like I'm not into fecal matter. But that's kind of like they just gave a giant enema to an elephant because like you notice they had a hose up that elephant's ass at the same time. So like someone had to pipe a hose up an elephant's ass as long as with your hand to help guide this shit out to the point where it can now burst out like a hose, right? Burst out like there, and you got hit in the face. The second person needed to back up. You had to know you were too close to the splash zone. Not everybody need to get hit, right? Not everybody need to get hit with that. The first person with the hose and right there with the hand in there, you're over with. The second person who's closer to the camera, they didn't need to get hit.
I just want to bring to everyone's attention that in the first 15 minutes of the show, the host and another co-host have both been downvoted in succession for their hot takes and reprehensible things. And I'm going to give you guys a little peek into the background. I told Icon not to do this, but Icon said no. It'll be funny. Who's laughing now, Icon? You got shit on your chin, Icon, all right? You got hit by that fucking enema. I want to point out a few things here before we go into a deep dive. One, we get it. Veterinarians exist and they got a job they got to do. Cool. But we know for a fact that we make machines that do this to cows all the time. And you never hear of farmers getting shit anywhere more than on the bottom of their boots. So there was almost this liking to wanting to be this. What stopped you from getting, a ladder, elevator hiker machine, whatever the fuck you needed to get above ground so that you weren't under a waterfall of shit? Think about what it takes to be under a waterfall of shit in just that moment. And you're there. The amount of healthcare going into giving this elephant an enema, I'm pretty sure there's a whole bunch of homeless people or less fortunate people, and in whatever random country they're in, they could have easily serviced. But I get it. The majestic animal needs healthcare too, so let's get it to him.
Question: how do we downvote the chat?
How do we downvote the chat? How do we downvote the chat? That's a great point.
Yeah, we are getting murdered in chat. So
you know what I mean?
I'm gonna go back to the original question. If that was your wife, how long before you would be intimate with her again?
She wouldn't be. She wouldn't be.
Yeah. I'm allergic to pets. So
yeah, like you smell. You not only do you smell like actual shit, right? Like you coming home actually smell. Most of the time, you coming home, you smelling like just animal. Like so, just nah, like that's not sexy at all. And now you smelling like animal and actual like shit water, right? In the face shit water. I would never believe you're ever clean. I could watch my wife scrub, like to the point where she's bleeding, scrubbing the skin off, and I will never believe she's clean again. Right? Never. Right? It would be divorce right then and there if I saw it. Like
divorce.
All right. Let's move on to our next topic.
How I get down again? Zippy, what?
Heero, who is your champ and who is your chomp of February 2024?
Man, you gotta believe the champ. I know this news came out, but I knew about this trade going on. The champ has to be Russell Westbrook, right? Russell Wilson, right?
Yeah,
being paid $23 million by the Broncos
38.
to never play, $38 million to leave and never play football again in Denver, and then being paid $1.2 million to play with the Steelers. He's getting 2 paychecks for being both good and bad at the same time. This is something I really, really have to stress. Russell Wilson, for all his nerdy attributes, his quirkiness, his over-reliance on religious platitudes, the guy he has a great life. He's banging Sierra. He's happy. I mean, golly, he's a quarterback, a black quarterback in the NFL. He's
kind
a winner.
about a quarter
He's
of him.
A fucking winner. He's diabolical. And the loser is, while it's not an entity, I would love to call my attention to Boeing, who is currently going through probably one of the biggest hysterias in modern history, as one of the most reliant forms of transportation is literally being brought into question because of stakeholder share. 10 years ago, they decided to make a push towards stop making quality products and start making money. As a person who was one of their dividend holders for the last 5 years, I can tell you, I've made way too much money to be seeing their names this badly placed in red. And not only to mention, there's a high likelihood they might have hired an assassin to kill the one person who was on their case about this, who worked for them for 36 years. And you're saying, oh, Heero, conspiracy theory. Shut up. eBay is literally has 4 of their executives going to jail currently because they were sending spiders, pig ears, and other things in their mailbox because of bad reviews left on their website. These corporations hold death notes. Believe it.
Okay, Shake, who is your champ and who is your chump of February 2024?
People who have a champ, people who kept diamond strong hands. Bitcoin hit over 60K, right? So if you kept them diamond fucking hands, right, from what, 2010? If you kept diamond strong hands, you would be raking in the dough. All the people that laughed at you, including myself, and laughed at them several times over, right? Every single time that Bitcoin collapses and crypto winter falls upon us, crypto summer keeps coming back, and the war keeps coming. My chump, what is his name? Again, I forget his name. Oh my God. My boy, Mark Robinson, the Republican nominee for the great state of North Carolina, the Tar Heel state, right? If you don't know who this fine red meat eating conservative brother, I say brother because he is black. We cannot deny him, us black people in the chat and my co-host. We cannot deny this black man, right? He is a pastor. He is caught on a hot mic saying at a conservative woman's event, I want to go back to a time in which women can't vote. Newsflash, nigga. And I say it this way, newsflash, nigga. That time, your black ass could not vote either. So that's the funniest thing about it, right? You want to go to a time in which women could not vote, but by the way, women got the right to vote before you technically got the right to vote. So you might want to not actually go back to that time. So yeah, that is my chump of. He said so many other egregious things. Like he's actually at this point, and we should pull up the photo. Icon, pull up the photo of yourself. Please pull up the photo of yourself. Right? Please tell me he doesn't learn. Everybody, in case Icon does not pull up the photo, right? If you do not know who he is, I'm going to share this link, right? And scroll all the way down to the bottom. Tell me this man does not look like Icon if he put on about 40 pounds, right? And just hated women his entire life. Hated women and hated the gays his entire life.
Icon, that means you agree. If you give him a point any more tonight, Icon, that means you agree. That was wrong.
See, Super Bowl's coming in, right? People are ready. And just like that, we are back. We are back. So yes, Mark Robinson, this brother, right? What I've seen a lot of like talking head coons, like Fox News, the Candace Owens, but this one, I've never met. Like this is the most super coon of super coons I've ever seen in my life. Right? He's now quoting Hitler and like General Mao, right? Like he's saying all the stuff I didn't know a conservative black man could actually formulate. And I've heard a lot of them say a lot of crazy things. Like things that Tim Scott wouldn't even say, he's willing to say. So that's saying things.
Okay, we need to move on to our next topic. Why you making fun of me? Okay, our next topic, ADA for what? A group of disabled, wheelchair-bound basketball players went to a restaurant after a game, and they were denied entry because the restaurant told them that they would be a fire hazard. Shake, Why don't you
I
unpack
bet they
this
couldn't
for us?
stand up to make a complaint.
Oh.
What do you mean? Why shouldn't they just stand up for their rights? What do you mean? Shouldn't they just stand up for their rights? They should stand up for their rights.
Shake,
What's the problem?
What's
the problem? They should, if there's a fire, they should be able to walk out with no issue. I don't see the issue. Just like every other person.
The Americans with Disability Act is a law that makes sure it has a list of regulations to make sure every company makes their company accessible to people with disabilities, which is why you can't turn them down, because you're supposed to have already made your establishment accessible to them.
I'm sorry, that joke that was just dropped in chat just rolled them out. Sorry, that. I mean, what's up?
You know what? Shake, you made a good point. I probably do need a way to download the chat. Yeah, we need a way to download the chat. We need a way of downloading the chat. There has to be a way of me showing my disapproval to the chat.
I like how I'm rubbing off on the chat, right?
Okay. So this team of 7 players, aged 7 to 14, showed up with their families. I'm not going to name the restaurant. And staff told them their group of a total of 27 could not be seated. And they were told because it's a fire hazard. First, they thought they were playing, and they tried to enter the restaurant when they were told they could not. So let me pass this to more sensible ears. Heero.
All right. So there's a lot of things to take into consideration here. First and foremost, we all know if you have a group bigger than 10, you need to call in advance to make special reservations so that an allotted space can be made for you. That's a significant party size. And seeing as how this basketball team rolled in right after a game for a party of 27, it does present a situation where the hosting restaurant can't handle that capacity on a turn of a dime. Even some of the biggest ballers in the game know that if you're going to do something like this, you're going to get a private room. And that's usually going to be an upcharge or an additional fee, something that I'm pretty sure they weren't going to be looking forward to. But let's just call into question 2 concerns here. The thing about the American Disability Act is that it's so old, it does more harm than it actually does good. Because what you are asking in a predetermined establishment to do is somehow create space for 7 mobile devices to be able to move succinctly and freely without any damage or care. This is an extremely hard measure for a company or a mom and pop shop that's pulling in basic needs to make total renovations for. And then in exchange, in the event of us trying to make people with disabilities more comfortable in the situation, should that put everybody who has a normal standard in more danger? If those devices would have caused a stampede or a fire broke out and those trapped people indoors or caused more harm, is that something we really want to hold ourselves accountable to? There's no real right way to handle this, but there is one thing everybody could have done: pre-planning. If you had planned in advance, you wouldn't have been discriminated against. And I think that's not the right token to take here, but that is the essential message. Lack of planning has caused this team of people to experience an uncomfortable situation.
Okay, I'm actually looking this up now because I want to see if they're mom and pops. Because those regulations in the Americans with Disability Act, it does depend on the size of your company. They're not expecting mom and pops to.
And I can also understand the difficulty of accommodating 7 wheelchairs plus their company party, right? It was probably the worst way of saying it. Like, you'll be a fire hazard, right?
Yeah,
like you probably put some from 18-year-old girl in a terrible situation of being like, the manager's like, yo, there's no way we can do it. You go tell them we can't do it. And this 18-year-old girl had to be the bearer of bad news to these crippled kids, right? They're like, yo, we can't seat you, right?
Said these crippled kids,
right? And she just came to the first thing that came to her mind, right? And so
there's a part of me that feels like this basketball team would have given Shake 21. This basketball team would have given a team full of Shakes 21.
Bro, disrespectful. I would destroy them in the post. destroy them in the post. What they gonna do? They can't jump, right? They can't
Hey,
jump. I destroy them with the breach out of the glass. I would destroy them on the glass, right? No jump shots. Yo, every jump shot they take would get swatted. Don't disrespect me. Don't disrespect.
I gave him the easy layup to walk away from it, and what did he do? He dunked on a paraplegic kid. Got it.
Come on, you try to be disrespectful. Like I wouldn't just gambit on a wheelchair kid. 7 years old too? Easy.
All right, let's move on from there before we get canceled. All right, good, bad, and ugly. I give a situation. The host let me know if it's good, bad, or ugly. So, 6 players were ejected from the SEC title game. That's women's basketball, college, after they got into a little fight. I think the worst thing here, actually, let's show the clip first.
Johnson holds on to Malaysia for Wiley. And then Flage pushes Watkins. That's when Cardoso comes up and pushes Flage down. Somebody jumped over the scorer's table from the stands.
I'm gonna let Heero go first because he seems to be enjoying this. Let's go, Heero.
Yeah. I want to let it be known that the college basketball series is now currently more interesting than the WNBA. And I hope this bell. The sanitization of sports in America is what's killing it. I cannot tell you how happy I am to see this. 6 players being ejected was well worth it to gain my interest into this sport, because not only do they have one of the best players in the country sitting on the team for LSU, this is immaculate, phenomenal. But I want to draw some attention, specifically attention to the young man that jumped over the announcer's table and then was tackled by a police officer because he got onto the court to defend his sister, or I believe girlfriend, as soon as possible. What was his name? This person was able to single bound at announcer's table and get on one of the girls before they were able to get on his team. So we love to see it. We love the energy. It's the rah-rahness of it. 6-game ejection, that's fine. They're going to be there for the playoffs. I hope there's a rematch in store. And
No, they're not. LSU will be dressing 5 people for the first game of the tournament. I'm sorry, South Carolina is dressing 5. LSU is dressing 6. Everyone got suspended for getting up off the bench.
It's fine. They'll win. As long as they get to play. It's fine. Let them play.
Because, God forbid we see this aggression in these women, these daintily 6'3", 170-pound women, daintily looking and very ladylike. They must act like women in very not testosterone-fueled environments. We need to make sure that they act like women at all times, because we can't see women act, aggressive. Like our psyche might not be able to handle this situation, God forbid, right? So when I say this situation is actually pretty funny to me, right? Because this is now a time where women's sports is getting the biggest shine it has ever had for a plethora of reasons. One, because the storylines are good, because you have not just one good team, you have good players that people can relate to, both black and white, right? You have a great white hope in Caitlin Clark, and you've had a series of black female players, which have always been given black women, but now you have the foil being Caitlin Clark. So in any way, shape, or form, this is actually good for the sport, right? That you're getting more casuals to watch college basketball, women's college basketball. Women's college basketball is now being more watched than men's college basketball, partially because of gambling. But no one's talking about the gambling aspect is why people are watching women's sports. It's degenerates like myself who like putting money on it.
Stop this bit. It's horrible. You have a mic. Yeah, it's not a prop. Stop whispering into it.
No one likes to talk about the reason why women's sports is taking off. It's because gambling also took off, right? You just have more things for people to gamble on, right?
Okay,
but I'm more happy to see it. I'm happy to see women's sport taking off. Period. No matter what it is, whether it's a tussle, a gamble roll, or anything, I'm happy to see it.
Like,
So,
and this is a money. Sorry, real quick, Icon. This is a money generating sport in a time in which the money is now dictating how all of college sports is being done, and college sports in the next 10 years is basically just going to be, wait, you're an Olympic sport, you don't actually make money? Yeah, we don't need you. It's just pretty soon going to be college basketball, men's college basketball, women's college basketball, men's college football, right? Those are what make money for these universities at high levels. So for this to actually be showing off these women's skill for a very different game of basketball than men's, right? That they are highly skilled at what these women do at women's basketball. I am very happy. I think it's a good thing. Like, they didn't even take a punch, right?
well,
They
she got
didn't
put on
even
her
swing.
ass though.
She got thrown,
Yeah, she did.
right? You know, people are getting straight up fights in pickup games, so it is what it is.
This is true.
Like,
The reason why I say this is bad is because you hurt your team. Is it good for ratings? Yes, of course. Are more people going to tune in? Yes. But I want to win. Those people on the bench should have kept their ass on the bench. They didn't do anything anyway.
Yeah, if you sit on the bench I'm here to tell you, if you sit on the bench while I'm out there fighting, you might as well leave the team.
No one was fighting.
The team. There's no. If I'm coming to defend my best player, period. If I have 0 points and I'm on the bench and I get ejected, I guarantee myself another spot on that bench when I return, because you don't have teammates just to win games. You have teammates for moral, physical, and mental support.
It's the old hockey analogy of an
3 weeks ago, y'all were saying that mothers should let their kids get their arms broken.
Hey, that's 3 weeks ago, Icon. Why are you bringing up the past?
What's up? Yeah, bringing up old, just like a lady bringing up old stuff. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, we bringing up the now. We living in the present, bro. Right?
Oh Lord. All right.
So, like, real quick. Last thing I'm gonna say.
Stories ago, you be mad and shit. Next topic.
This is the. Yeah, no. Let's next topic. You're right. Forget this.
All right. Battle of the sexes. Who is better at seeking relationship revenge, men or women?
Women. Period. I'm going first. Women, way better, and way more clever. Like, because they'll play the long game out of it. Most of the time, men, we get angry, we'd be yelling and screaming, cussing. Some men be throwing hands, then you drive out the house, get drunk, wrap our car around a tree, and just be doing stupid shit. Women be catching you cheating, and next thing you know, like, she's smashing your best friend, right, in like y'all bed. Right, and what else? Like, when you your best friend, right? She'll start escorting behind the dude's back, right? And then she starts telling like all his homeboys that you into some weird things, right? So
who hurt you?
No, this didn't. Okay, I wasn't the one that. I was the one that
I forgot you decide.
Exactly. Right? So I will just say,
stories. Sure.
Their revenge is brutal, man. Like, their revenge is rough, years long in the making type deal. Like, so yeah, they're so much better than us. Like, we don't.
What you got here?
We're not.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off. I'm sorry. I thought you were
finished. I'm going to go to that.
I mean, Shake makes a great point. I think the thing that makes our revenge so great is that we could take reproductive rights from women. Like, we could take legal status from women, and we could take away their rights. So, like, I think the revenge in the grand scheme of things for us is that, and I'll say this, and I've said this before, and I'll say it again. Men in America truly wish to have Sharia law, but white man style, because they love the way that in those Middle Eastern countries, that women are second-rate citizens. They really do appreciate that, and it's by design. The Taliban currently has YouTube videos going up about how great it is to come to Afghanistan, but only if you're a man, and preferably a man of stature in selling. So, like, it's not anything to be graceful about. I think just because it's a man's world, it's going to be hard for me to say women win outright on this. This is just the one thing that they happen to be good at.
So I get what you're saying, Hero. You're like, I took it on a much more micro level. You said on a macro level, we will win when it comes to like,
Yeah.
oh, y'all have collectively hurt us. Guess what? We're going to take away all your rights. That's a real. We actually win. Right?
If
Yes,
you mess with us, we will take your rights. Like,
it's right.
okay.
Your kids won't have rights, right? Like your daughter, she doesn't have a right either. So like, yeah. So you got your choice. You made your choice. I'm making a choice for your daughter. When you put it that way, yeah, we do just outright win because one man was hurt and he's like, yeah, I'm gonna make sure no woman from this point on can ever make this choice again, right? And so yeah, I gotta get when you put it that way, that makes sense.
Yeah, I would definitely have to go with men because of the power structure. All right.
I was thinking on much more of a micro level.
All right, what do we have next? Left him Microsoft. Man sends his wife a spreadsheet of all her excuses to not have sex with him.
Right now, a husband giving his wife an Excel spreadsheet
and let me okay.
Oh, I'm sorry, the video's wrong.
As a person
turned him down for sex. The wife posting this list to Reddit for the whole world to see. Among the excuses he tracked, I'm sweaty and gross, you're too drunk, and I'm watching my show, among many others. Well, the wife says the husband's timing was really horrible, too. He gave her this list as she was leaving for a 10-day work trip, and the list has already gotten hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of comments online.
Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't know if there was a video on there or not, so I just hit the play button. So, is he wrong for sending the sheet? Because I definitely don't think he is. And could he handle it differently?
No, he's absolutely wrong. And this is okay. I had a quick second to glance at it, but there's literally 7 times in one day where he asked her for sex. This man isn't documenting him asking for.
I saw the list. I think you might have seen it wrong.
I might have seen it wrong, but I saw 7, 6 multiple times. So at least 3 times in one day he was asking for sex.
Oh no, Trap is saying it was one day. Yeah, all right.
What's the problem with
that? Okay. So now let's just take this into consideration. I'll give you he asked for sex once a day for a month. Do you know how annoying it is to be asked how many times you've eaten once a day every month? When did you eat? When did you sleep? Any question in repetitive retort is going to be annoying. Now imagine the person asking you the question is also going to be granted access to filling every random hole in your body. I don't think guys understand that question asking isn't the initiation. And all the time he took for him to make that Excel spreadsheet, where was the time that he went to actually, maybe getting flowers, maybe cooking breakfast, making a meal, doing something to garner this reward? The relationship of gaining sex from your partner has to be a give and take. If she knows that the key to access is that, why would she give it to you for meandering with random questions? Hey, go tickle her fancy. Go ahead, give her back shots on the top of the Wilson. Let's see how things really turn in. Take her on a vacation. Do something exciting. But asking her for sex at 7:30 after having ramen noodles for the 3rd time that week? Good luck, brother. Keep up the good work.
Or Shake, what say you?
I'm pretty sure he made this list after having asked for like 6 months. He probably ain't get it in like this is like 4th time in like the last 6 months, right? And he's like, I didn't get into marriage to not have sex, right? I also understand.
So you got into marriage to have sex?
That's the perk of it.
You didn't get into marriage. You didn't get married to not have sex, right? Because like
this ain't
like
married with children.
Sure.
You're not sitting tag over there on the wall and not doing her. That's right? You're not doing.
Wait a minute.
Car to not drive it. You know, you don't buy.
I'm gonna give you guys a chance to put your mask back on before you unmask yourselves.
No, what I'm saying, like, I'm just so you're telling me you only get married. You if you would get married to someone, you would never be able to have sex with them. I wouldn't be able to do it. I don't care how nice their personality is.
That's not the retort. That's not the opposite.
I'm sorry. Let's answer Hero's question. Okay. Please restate the question.
Restate the question, please.
The question is, do you believe that you're married because you are married to somebody, you are granted sex?
No.
To that person.
No, I do not.
That's not what I said. No.
Okay.
No.
All right. Right.
I can
I'm just saying, you
understand.
know how.
Now, in the 50s, they believe that, sure. But no, I don't. I
can
don't buy into that.
understand. I can understand that if like you've asked, and you're assuming he didn't do all the whining and dining and romancing, right? And he's like, and he's still not getting
the
some.
receipts for that. Show us the receipts for that.
But you're also assuming that he didn't. I'm not assuming he did. I'm going to assume he did because it would be ballsy to not do that and make a spreadsheet, right? That's a really ballsy play, brother. So let's assume he did. He's been trying to do the whining and dining, the X, Y, and Z, and he's at this point he's like, yo, let me let you know how many times, right? Because she's probably said to him, oh no, we have sex all the time. He's like, oh really? Let's probably actually put it down how often we actually have sex, because he knows how many times they have sex. That's for damn sure. He knows how often he's got to go beat off in the bathroom, right? He knows for sure. So yeah.
So Heero, how would you have handled this?
If I'm okay, first and foremost, I'm not asking my partner for sex. Because my partner is giving it to me regardless of the situation.
Hey, yo, pause. That sounds crazy.
You feel me? When a 300-pound big belly brother,
dog, I'm giving you an opportunity. I'm about to downvote you.
Your sounds messing up. You're moving too back and forth in your mic. It sounds messing up.
When you do all the chest movement and shit like that, them draws come wiggling down by themselves, Shake. This is not a problem that I have because I ain't no second side chick, man. You feel me? So let me put you on game, my brother. Now, let's just say hypothetically, I did actually have to go through this. There's an underlining issue here. There's a breakdown in communication. There's a situation. I think that there should be healthy sex roles in the relationship where there is a casual thing where it does happen. But if it stops happening, there's something underlining that happens, whether it's communication, financial issues, stress, work, whatever it is. It's your job as the male in the relationship to create a situation where your wife or your partner feels vulnerable to you, and part of feeling vulnerable to you is safety, sexually aroused, and put it on her. In the book, The Superior Man, it talks about most men only make contact with their wives for sexual pleasure. Make it an effort to put your pleasure into your wife without requiring sexual gratification in return. That means the love taps on the ass, the grabbing and smolting of the head, the pushing your belly on top of her and forcing her to try and move you. These are all considered very aggressive forms of behavior from men, but to women, they tend to enjoy it. They tend to feel very enlightened by it. It also happens in the animal kingdom a lot, but there's a conversation to be had before the underlying issue of making an Excel spreadsheet. I would have definitely gone to therapy, bought flowers or anything before making an Excel spreadsheet.
Let me get this straight. If your wife has chosen not to have sex with you in a month, put your belly on her. Got it.
Put your belly on her.
Just lay it on her.
Hey, just lay on
the naked man. The naked man.
Hey, okay, no, I'm gonna give you straight facts. And we've all done this. You guys are stunning, and I don't know why. If you've ever been in an argument or debate with your girl and it's just getting too elevated, I literally physically pick her up and I say, all right, now talk your shit, because you want to be bigger than me, so talk your shit. And now they're sitting above me, and now you look goofy because you can sit on top of the
That's your privilege. That's your privilege of being 6'5", 300 pounds, bro. That's your privilege, right?
Imagine that. Shake
so
was upset at me for having this.
I'm not upset. I'm not upset about it. I'm just saying you're looking at it from a different angle than like you are always. Because if you with a chick who's bigger than you, brother. Dog, that's crazy, right? Like different strokes for different folks.
Are you questioning my stroke game one and my squat
questioning
game two?
Your stroke game?
Are you questioning either of those things?
I'm not
questioning that. I'm questioning that if you like women bigger than you, that's what I'm questioning, because like that seems physically impossible, right?
Okay, so before we lose sponsors we don't have, we're going to move on to Spirit of the Law. A college swimmer was stripped of his title after celebrating with a teammate. Before the match was over, he leaned over the rope to hug his teammate. which is against the rules. So what I'm asking, the spirit of the law is to prevent you from going into someone else's lane and impeding impeding your, I can't even talk. What the hell? We'll just show the clip.
The other swimmers access to
progress, right?
From the ACC championship.
Here he goes, pulling a Bobby Fink, sprinting the last 50. Love to see it.
Owen Lloyd, the senior from Chapel Hill, North Carolina. You are an ACC champion of 1650. Teammate Ross Dant finishes second.
You can see everybody is on their feet right now. This is exciting.
Ilya Saburtsev from Louisville grabbed third place.
Get on that lane line, son. You earned it.
Okay, so as you see at the end of the video, there are still people swimming and he jumps into the other lane. Should he have been stripped of his title? Shake.
100%. You gotta know the rules, bro. Know the rules. Just because you're so much faster than everybody else, you gotta wait. You gotta wait. He could have gotten out the pool. I think he can technically get out the pool and celebrate with his teammates outside, right? He gotta know the rules. I'm sorry. Just know the rules, bro. Them's the rules, brother.
Heero, what you got?
I have to agree with this. We're not talking about a day in the life of a swim race, but like once again, it's this desensitized version of sports in America where we don't let our kids celebrate. We don't let the youth be invigorated by their accomplishment. They were talking about a world record being set, a title world record being set for a minor infraction that happened to a teammate who's next to him in the same swim lane. The thing that I need these companies or organizations to understand, it would have the better situation, and this is truly the situation where everybody wins. The better consequences for this should have been you make a public announcement that you're contemplating removing the title and stripping the title due to the player's action and giving the player an opportunity to apologize for his transgressions so that one, we know that the player and future people can see and understand that. Two, you give people who do believe a rule or something has been broken the opportunity to feel justified, but to strip him of a title, something he worked hard for. We're talking about years of practice because of a minor infraction for accomplishing the goal. That seems a little heavy-fisted to me.
3-strike rule. Bill Clinton. Sounds about right.
So let's say this is track and field and he's doing the triple jump and he gets a toe onto the board. Should he still get the record?
Okay, no. And I'm sorry to even use that one. But once again, that toe infraction thing is something we could mathematically account for. But because we want to have referees there, we can't do it. Wherever you step on the toe board, as long as you step on the toe board, we just add or subtract based on where you land, which will give people a reason to always step behind, because if they're behind the line, they get it added to their score, and they step over the line, they get it. So there's logical ways of handling this, but stripping or punishing them is different. And also this falls a different line. He's already won the race. This is the equivalent of him winning the race and then waiting in the sandpit for someone else to jump in there so he can celebrate with his teammate. That's obviously wrong.
Yes, but
he should have waited.
That's my point. He should have waited. It's by the letter of the law. I get what you're saying. In a perfect world, they should threaten to have stripped him of his title, allowed him to apologize, and gone by the spirit of the law. But now at that point, are we going to always have a governing body every single time there is an issue? Right. This is the problem with things with laws and rules. This issue they're having with soccer with VAR. Right, the spirit of VAR has changed to what the actual reality of the situation is. At some point, you just have to deal with how you wrote the rule. At some point, you just have to deal with how you wrote the rule. Somebody's gonna get screwed. And you change the rule after. Unfortunately, this is the reality of him celebrating too early. Do we change the rule for Deshaun Jackson when he's running in for a touchdown and he drops the ball before? Because we know he was trying to run in. He just dropped it literally an inch before he got to the line. No, you got to know the rule, right? Sorry, that's my thought process. That's the rule. Don't do the crime if you can't do the time.
Yeah. See, when I first saw the clip, I was thinking, okay, that's some BS. But then I thought, No, the rule is there for a reason. He knows the rule. He's been swimming his whole life. So do I feel bad for him? Yes. But do I agree with Heero's take? I think that would have been a great solution, but do we really have to go through all these changes because this person didn't follow the rules?
A damn about swimming anyway. It's not like basketball with like why you don't call a carrier traveling because like it actually makes money. Ain't no one give a shit about who did. What is his name anyway? Now I'm thinking about it, right? Ain't no one give a damn about him.
You don't know the guy's name.
Exactly. So
I don't know the guy's name.
It's not for a world record. It's an ACC title. Get the fuck out of here with that shit. Come on, next topic. Come on. We want with someone who won an ACC title, right? Like I'm thinking, oh, it was like a national title, right? He didn't. It's not even like the national championship. It's the ACC title. He still has to swim again. Come on, wasting time. Next topic. Let's go. What's the next topic? What do we care?
Do we
I don't
care?
This topic, that's what show.
Do we care? Jake Paul is about to beat the brakes off of Mike Tyson.
Wild disrespectful, crazy.
Tyson. Do we care? So Jake Paul and Mike Tyson have agreed to an exhibition. Heero, do we care?
No, because I don't have Netflix, so I can't watch this. Two, I just saw a photo. I just saw a photo of Mike Tyson walking with a cane. He's 58 years old. Like, what are we talking about here? On top of that, there's something I saw the promotion for the signing of this deal. There's something very I have a pet feel I get from Jake Paul and Logan Paul when it comes to them doing these fights, because up until recently Jake Paul didn't fight a single person who was qualified to be in the ring with him, and he lost. And now I'm seeing this guy who never fought anybody on his level lose finally to fight, and now wants to fight someone who used to be feared. There's a shot of Mike Tyson in Las Vegas in a ring bucking at 6 officers fully armed, and all of them look terrified. Like they don't know what to do. So it almost seems like he's almost vilifying the legend of Mike Tyson, saying, I'm going to beat him, and this is going to be my fame to claim. I beat the person that scared everyone else. Where are Mike Tyson's friends, family, and loved ones to tell him, you don't need the money for this, bro. You are making enough residuals off of every random movie voiceover cameo you are doing in all of the Hitmans. And the weed is, you don't need to do this. And I just hope that Jake Paul knows that after this fight, no one will still like you, bro. Go find a way of making your own legacy and make yourself important without leaning on other people. The Paul brothers have made a legacy off of vulturing off of other commentators and other people's fame and fortune or misery. Exhibition 8, the Japanese hang forest, where they knew a body would be there. It's crazy.
Okay. All right, Jake Paul, Mike Tyson, do we care?
I didn't give a shit until you were disrespectful and said Jake would absolutely destroy Mike Tyson. Like,
yeah, that was crazy.
That was crazy. Like, I know the man's 60 years old, but that's crazy, right? That's crazy. He's not gonna destroy him, right? He can still move a little bit, right? Not great, but he can move a little bit. And like, have you seen Jake fight? He can't fight. I will push back on Logan. He has developed, if you follow like wrestling, he's developed into an actually good wrestler, right? He has actually developed into something beyond a grifter and a content stealer, right? His brother, the one who's actually going to fight Mike Tyson, is still not fighting anybody. He hasn't evolved his content. That's what I'll say about the Paul brothers. The older one, Logan has actually done something where you're like, okay, you're actually talented. He's actually a really good wrestler when it comes to putting on a show if you're into WWE. But I actually do care about this. I'm thinking about this. This will be probably one of the most streamed live sporting events in the latter decade. It's free to anybody who has Netflix. So there's going to be people who just want to see it for the spectacle. You don't even have to like it, but it's going to be talked about. It's going to do crazy numbers in and around the world for the pure spectacle of it's basically free because you have Netflix. There's no pay-per-view. So people are going to watch it. And it will set the precedent of why not keep doing these spectacle fights. So,
well, from what I understand, they will be wearing 18-ounce gloves and headgear.
18-ounce gloves. I didn't even know that's basically a sock and bopper.
Another thing I could throw into the pit of fire for this one is also that we all remember when Logan almost got two-pieced up and Mayweather had to keep him afloat.
Yeah.
There's a strong likelihood that if he catches you with the Dempsey roll to the left and you aren't properly guarded, even with padding 18 pounds, that dude's punching force has more than 3 to 5 pounds behind it. He could literally cripple you in that moment. So like this isn't so much a fight as it is Mike Tyson going to have a snap call reaction that will put you on your back? Because anyone who's ever sparred before or done mittens with an older person at a gym, you know that their hands are just as quick as your hands for placement. And one of the proudest moment one of those mitten holders will ever have in their life is if you've ever knocked the mitts out of their hand or if you've ever beaten them to a combo. That is one of their proudest moments. So I'm very interested to see how this goes.
Yeah. Do we care? Prior to the last NCAA women's fight, the tournament was selling out for its first time. And they are calling this the Caitlin Clark effect. Because you finally, in their opinion, have a woman putting in buckets and is entertaining to, I guess, the entire market. Shake, do we care that the tournament is selling out?
Okay. I care because it grows the woman's game. It is growing, it is selling out because she is marketed to little white girls, right? For the first time, right? Little white American girls can now see themselves playing basketball at a high level, right? Similarly, how basketball has weeded out the American white, right, from basketball, that basically just an extent. The American white guy in basketball doesn't exist anymore, right? Now, for the first time, white girls around the country can look up to a white girl who is scoring buckets and doing crazy numbers in Caitlin Clark. I think it's a great thing for the sport because it will then just grow the sport. If you look at, for the most part, the last several great women's college basketball players have been black for the most part. Not saying it's a bad thing, but if you need to grow the sport, you're going to have more white girls playing sports at a younger age than black girls just by pure numbers. So you're going to need somebody, right? I.e., Caitlin Clark, the Barbie of women's basketball, right? Or the LeBron James of women's basketball to show, like, yeah, we can do this. The Stephen Curry, you can shoot from 30. You can make this look fun to get more. That's what this is. She's growing the sport for white women specifically, white girls specifically. That is a demographic that has exploded in the Caitlin Clark quote unquote effect.
Along with this idea, Shake, I'll lean on your idea. The MVP of last year's NBA Finals was a white guy from outside the country. And I think it goes without saying that Caitlin Clark being who she is one thing, but also speaking to what basketball represents in the female sport. We have a situation where Caitlin Clark, I don't know if this is her senior year. This is her senior year, right?
Mm-hmm.
So she will probably make the most money for playing basketball currently in her NIL deals than she will make in the WNBA, which is going to shine a brighter light in that community, in that era of women. More than ever, if there's anything about Caitlin Clark that I have to say is that she's family friendly and media approachable from a perspective of the common person. American fiction taught us that Black people don't necessarily make bad films or make bad decisions. It's just that they're not accessible to the wider audience. That was the purpose of that movie. So Caitlin Clark has created a situation where a dying sport, not because of Black people, wasn't getting notoriety, but has made it digestible for a new group of people. And you got to appreciate it because if you told me to point out where Iowa was on a map, I probably couldn't do it. I live in Illinois.
Well, to further Shake's point, Jordan just did an interview not too long ago, and they asked him about a statement he made about the two guard from Portland back when he was playing, Clyde Drexler. And they said, a lot of people said he was almost as good as you. Why didn't he have the same effect? And Jordan said he didn't play the game. And that's pretty much what Shake is saying about Caitlin. She's playing the game and not the game on the court. She understands that there's a bigger game. You have to have a package that can be marketed. And she's doing that, and she's doing it very well, where Clyde Drexler didn't do it and Jordan did. And that's why he was the face of the league for so many years.
And I don't know if it's exactly the same thing. I think she's just the first woman, like white woman, right? Who's good enough, right? Who's
there's been plenty of players with great skill sets.
No, not the skill set, not skill set that transcends.
I didn't say hers,
right? No. Right? There's been the John Stocktons that just pass the ball, like Sue Bird, Paige Bjorkers, who can get 10 assists, but that's not flashy, right? The Elijah Bostons, the Angel Reese, they were doing things that like they're dunking, so that's flashy. Caitlin Clark, she's shooting from 30, right? The reason why now Sabrina Ionescu, who's only a couple of years older than Caitlin Clark, she was able to shoot in the 3-point contest is because she's shooting from 30 and she can shoot well. Their game is good enough and they're white. So they're able to communicate with white girls saying that, hey, by the way, you could do it's the Steph Curry effect. That, hey, by the way, every guy who's not 6'8", 280 pounds of 4% body fat, LeBron James, by the way, you could make an NBA team too. If you just become a really great shooter, you can make a team too. You don't need to be a freak of nature to be that. It's not like she's directly doing anything, Caitlin Clark. She has the skill set. She's great at her game. I will never take anything from what she does on the court. Period, point blank, right? She is great, and it helps that she is middle America white, like the most cornbread white America as possible.
If you put her in a business suit, nurse scrubs, or a waitress outfit, she's as basic and common as they come in all three aspects. You wouldn't be able to tell her apart no matter what outfit you put her in. She's basketball Barbie. That's a great analogy.
Yeah, you can put her in a dress and you're like, oh my God. You're like, wow, that's surprising me. You put her on the court and she'll drop 35 on your head, right? And she can talk, she can do all that. She does it. So that's what I'm saying. It's great for the sport because you're getting more eyes on it. You're getting more money. That means there's more money for the next generation of girls in NIL. That means hopefully, right, it brings the same viewership, maybe not same viewership, but percentage of viewership who follow her to the WNBA, which brings like a rising tide. Was it the rising tide raises all ships? Right, so hopefully it brings the revenue sharing and the money that these women are asking for in the WNBA and NBA up, so they can actually get the money they believe they're worth.
Yeah, I'm not going to comment on that, but I am going to move to the next topic. Money in the WNBA is a totally different thing. Your league loses money. All right, so let's move forward to King of Petty, Billboard Revenge. Yvonne Wilkins, after finding out her boyfriend, Charles Phillips, at the time an advisor to the Barack Obama administration, she found out after 8 years of dating that he was married. So she decided to take out $250,000 of billboards in New York City to let everyone know that he was cheating on his wife. Is that petty or is that warranted?
It's petty. I mean, it's stupid. Because here's the thing, right? Now you just known as the 8-year side piece, right? He's the 8-year side piece who wasted $250,000, right? And that would be funny if he stayed with his wife, right? And so now he stayed with his wife, you out of $250,000, and he got the billboards taken down, right? So you look like a goofy now. You the side piece. So that's why, if you the side piece, sometimes you just need to shut up, right? You just need to shut up.
You would know.
Fuck you.
Oh wow! I was holding back, Icon, and I'm happy to see that it worked for something. All right, let's just call a spade what a spade is. Like there's grace in your ability to navigate tough situations. You're the side piece. Instead of you to hold this and blackmail him for at least another 8 years, you let all your cards out and you found out you didn't have the flush. You got beat by the river, chick. There's no way that you're really about to sit here and tell me that as a side piece, that this isn't a form of just someone being butthurt. You're mad that the side piece, two-piece biscuit wasn't enough to quench that thirst. He went ahead and got himself the value menu. Most people aren't gonna break up what they already know and love. And when it's all said and done, you already admitted that you were a loser. And now you're a broke loser. This is petty and dumb. A waste of money. $250,000 you could have. You know what you could have. You know how much Nvidia stock you could have bought? How many futures stocks you could have bought?
And you said this is under Obama administration, right?
Yes.
Oh yeah, Nvidia was like $20 back then. You would be raking in the money, right? How did she not realize, right? Because you said they both worked. If she had $250,000 to pull out billboards in New York City, that means both of them had some money. I mean, he kept her on the hook for 8 years and be like, "Yo, I'm never putting a ring on it." Right? And she's like, "I'm cool with that." How did she bells not ring of how we never move in together, right? We've been together quote unquote 8 years, don't move in together. He's never asked to put a ring on it, right? This is just convenient. And why are you surprised when you found out that you're not the main, right? You shouldn't be upset. If anything, he probably was surprised when he goes into work, he's commuting and he sees the billboard.
Okay. So she also built a website that showed dozens of photos of them two together, as well as his love letters to her. So
that doesn't mean he didn't love her. That didn't mean he didn't love her. He loved his wife too. He legally can't marry two women at the same time. That's illegal.
Okay. So from what I'm saying, when they met, him and his wife were drifting apart and they were supposed to get divorced. So he says, and it seems that way because then it says he went back to his wife, which we don't know if that's true or not, but I'm
for 8 years. What? So he was with her for 8 years and then goes back to the wife.
We do know one thing. He didn't come back to you. Get over you.
Come on now. Come on now. This is what I'm saying. She deserved everything that she got. She deserved it all, right? You believe that, 8 years? How did it take you 8 years to find out? And again, he probably did love her. He also loved his wife. And he knows, it's more expensive to leave my wife than leave you, right? The wife can take half. You can't take shit, right? The worst you can do,
you can take down that website. You can take down that website because it's also cost you $250 a year to maintain.
Hold on. So when I first came across this, I was taking it from a different article, and that's not the article I put in our showrunner. So she believed that he was separated from his wife throughout the course of their affair. Then the two of them purchased an $11 million house in California. So he admits to having an 8.5 year serious relationship with Yvonne Wilkins.
Yeah, but I didn't put a ring on your finger, so don't matter. This is just an investment property. I was buying an investment property with a friend that I just happened to be sleeping with. You know what I mean? I didn't think. You know what I mean? I did love her. I did love her. I just didn't love her over my wife, right? Because the wife can take 50% of my stuff. You can't.
And the girlfriend can't take a thing.
And guess what? By having the girlfriend go 50-50 on the place, you now have a place you can bang the girlfriend out at. And you could take the wife to the place in California. Say, baby, look at this great B&B I just bought in on. And boom. Yo, my man is smart. I'm now thinking about it. But play. My man is, that is think about it. Right? Right? So when he don't got the girlfriend or the wife there, you're B&B it out, you make some extra money.
you proud of yourself?
Very.
Are you proud of yourself?
Very.
Okay.
The scoreline's proud of me too. And that's with me being down -4 or some shit like that today.
Look at what you guys
Heero,
have
you got
created.
anything?
No.
Except hold this ass whooping tonight.
Now I have to go. Thanks, guys. Now I have to be bothered for the next week about shit.
For a week? Oh, man. Oh, you wait till you stream. I'm going to hop on your stream. Hold this L. You're going to have to block me and just time me out immediately. As soon as the show's over, you can time me out for a week. And this stream pre-time me out. Y'all should have never allowed me to win today, baby. He is going to hear it.
You guys have witnessed why Shake rarely wins. This next week is about to be so brutal.
So you lost to a man wearing a My Little Pony shirt. I think we all lost today.
My Little Pony.
Oh, don't put this on me. Don't put this on me.
See,
don't put this on me.
The bronies. Don't let me call the bronies on you. The bronies will come after you. Right?
Yeah.
They're like the Pokemon people.
I would like to thank everyone that came to chill with us tonight. We do appreciate your time and your support. And since Shake's camera seems to be malfunctioning, I guess it's not used to him getting a win. Oh, there you go, Shake. He's back. Please address your audience.
I would just like to thank this wonderful chat. You know what I mean? Y'all, we started out bad, but y'all got used to it. Y'all coming around. I'm rubbing off on y'all paws. Y'all rubbing off on me. We're starting to see the same, right? Y'all are giving me the credence because you guys understand that we all think the same, right? That's what it is, right? We're all the same. You don't want to listen to the hero. Sometimes you want the villain to win.
Heero, please address.
You should call him loser. Loser is what you should call him.
Everyone, I want everybody to look me in the eye. Look at what you've done. Look at what you've created. You've given this man hope. And the last thing you want to give any type of semblance of an organism is hope that they're going to do this. So you guys will have to soak in this. Live in it.
It's been a good week. I got a good email this week, right? It's been a good week. And I won. So I've won so much. I had bonus this year. Oh, man. It is. I'm
Clap
just
it up for the bonus. Let's go.
Oh, man.
Black men doing good work. Let's go.
Mm-hmm. Getting this money and whooping other Negroes' ass tonight. It is good. It is good.
And then you get the downvote for the shirt. Let's go.
My Little Pony, small disrespect. No, I'm gonna wear the Barbie shirt the next week.
Okay.
Ryan Gosling won for that song. It was a really good song.
So we will be back next week, 8:15 Eastern on Tuesday. Don't know what the hell we've been talking about, but we're going to try to make it a good one. And I'm sorry here, I don't mean to put you on Front Street like this, but you normally have words of wisdom when we signing off. I was waiting for that feel good.
I lost. Oh, you want something?
I mean, we've grown accustomed to it.
We hear from the loser too much tonight. I don't get this much airtime when I lose. But it's cool. It's cool. I didn't know we changed the rules. I thought it was the spirit of the law. Right?
I lost.
All right. Cool.
Hey, end the show. Shake
everyone. We will see you guys next week.